There is no gainsaying the fact that Kaduna has peculiar challenges of security, particularly banditry, with educational institutions becoming targets. Nigerians cannot forget in a hurry the kidnap of students of Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka, who reunite with their families yesterday after about 2 months in captivity. Those of Greenfield University are yet to regain freedom. In addition to that is the recent case of alleged criminal conspiracy, kidnapping, and culpable homicide that resulted in the murder of a 6-year-old boy in Kaduna. Consequently, implementing the strategies by government towards stemming the tide of insecurity in Kaduna State is a call to action that requires citizens to be more aware of their roles and responsibilities for the overall success. This is our focus this afternoon on Panorama as we look at neighborhood security. I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun, your guide. Federal government says it will focus more attention on greater development of irrigation facilities across the country and encourage more people into agricultural production. President Muhammadu Buhari made the pledge during the 6th regular meeting of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council led by Professor Doyin Salami. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Describing agriculture as a good way to overcome Nigeria's economic challenges, President Muhammadu Buhari stressed the need for the citizens to go back to the land. Technology, he said, is doing away with petroleum, but Nigeria is lucky to have other resources, especially gas and vast arable land, yet to be adequately explored and exploited. The Presidential Economic Advisory Council had told the president that only 2% of land under cultivation in Nigeria is irrigated. On the security challenges, which the council says is having great repercussions on the economy, President Buhari charged leadership at every level to go back to the basics, noting that a bottom-up approach is necessary. He decried the situation in which some unscrupulous people tried to undermine every policy of government, irrespective of the good it is meant to achieve for the country. As he puts it during the closed-door engagement, some people are mercilessly against this country. We close the borders to control the smuggling of petroleum products and check the influx of illegal goods, arms and ammunition, yet I got a call from the Controller General of Customs that 40 tankers laden with petrol had been impounded. As the president explained, he instantly directed that both the fuel and the trucks be sold and the money be deposited in the treasury. President Buhari is also worried that arms and ammunition are still smuggled into the country, despite his order to shoot anyone found with AK-47 rifles illegally, saying people must show consideration for their own country. The chairman, Presidential Economic Advisory Council, Professor Doyin Salami, submitted that the global economy has continued to improve as COVID infections drop and rollout of vaccination intensifies. He said the Nigerian economy, though out of recession, remains fragile with rising inflation, unemployment, and weak external account. The council therefore recommended, amongst others, decisive end to all forms of insecurity in the country, mobilization of resources for investment, hastened implementation of agricultural reform policies, passage of the petroleum industry bill, poverty reduction, employment generation, as well as incentives for private investment in irrigation to promote all-year-round farming. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The federal government is soon to commence the prosecution of high-profile Nigerians suspected to be engaged in financing acts of terrorism and undermining national security and stability. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, announced this while speaking with correspondent Adamu Sambo in the State House. In
terrorism financing in the United Arab Emirates. That gave rise to a wider and far-reaching investigations in Nigeria. Arising from the investigation, there exists certainly reasonable grounds for suspicion that a lot of Nigerians, high-profile, institutional and otherwise, are involved in terrorist financing. and they are being profiled for prosecution. So in essence, it is indeed true that the government is indeed initiating processes of prosecuting those high-profile individuals that are found to be financing terrorism. It is indeed true.
How many of them have been arrested?
Well, as to the number, because the investigation is ongoing and it has to be conclusive before one can arrive at a certain number. But one thing I can tell you is a large number, and they are being profiled for prosecution. It is indeed a large number, and I am not in a position to give you with precision the number as at now, because the profiling and investigation is ongoing.
So what is the message the government is now sending to those with the habit of financing terrorism?
Well, the message is clear. Nobody is going to be spared. No stone will be left unturned. We shall certainly and aggressively pursue those people that are involved in terrorist financing as far as the Nigerian state is concerned.
Neighborhood watch is key to the security and safety of any society. Remember, a few days ago, Kaduna State Police Command apprehended 4 persons in connection of the recent abduction and killing of 6-year-old Muhammad Kabiru of Barnawa area of Kaduna State. 3 of the suspects live in the same neighborhood with slain Muhammad. Now, how vigilant are you, and how much do we look at the security in our neighborhood?
This scenario kidnapped and killed a 6-year-old child in cold blood, even after a ransom of 1 million naira was paid.
There is one Nazipi, so he met me, asked me that I should borrow him money. I said I don't have money. He said I don't have capital. He's selling things for Abuja. So I said I don't have money. And I said, how can I say I don't have money? Nazipi, where do you expect me to get money? He said, I'm like, how can I say I don't have money? He now brings this issue of Alhaji Kabir's son, that Alhaji Kabir has money, he is their neighbor, and he's selling different types of car. So if we kidnap his boy, he will be able to bring money.
The Commissioner of Police sees this opportunity to advise all parents and guardians to be more security conscious of their wards, as criminals could be lurking around their vicinity waiting to take advantage of familiarization to perpetrate evil.
This means anything can happen to anyone. With such trend of insecurity emerging, the need for community policing and neighborhood watch can never be overemphasized. Security agencies say if you see something, say something. After all, security is everybody's business. While the government, through the security agencies, are doing the best towards tackling insecurity bedeviling the nation, members of the public have roles to play towards assisting security agencies contain threats to society's well-being. Religious, traditional, and community leaders also have roles to play in promoting security consciousness among the people. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
Well, security is everybody's business. It is the responsibility of all. Traditional rulers are key in maintaining security and stability. With us to shed more light on neighborhood security as it concerns our national security architecture is a traditional ruler in Kaduna State and under Zazzau Emirate Council in the person of Alhaji Bala Muhammad Tijani, Bunun Zazzau, and District Head of Kaduna, Doka. You are most welcome to the Panorama.
Thank you very much.
Yes, looking at neighborhood security that has just been highlighted in our report, what is your take on neighborhood security as a traditional rulers?
Like you've rightly said earlier on, that it's everybody's business. Yeah. We, at the traditional institution, have been saddled with that responsibility for time immemorial, and we have been trying our best to see that we've discharged that responsibility. Okay. We stand always as the last layer of security responsibility in the structure of governance, and the task of ensuring that we keep watch on our territories is quite a very vital one indeed. And I think there isn't any institution or organization in this country that has the country covered 100% inch by inch like the traditional institution. Okay. We've been doing this role for time immemorial, like I said, long before colonial government came in.
Now, issue of synergy between traditional rulers and government is always at the front burner. Does it exist anymore? Is it, how does it help in securing the society, and how best can it be strengthened?
Well, actually, you've said it right. And governments do come and do go. Or let me say, administrations do come and do go. Government stays.
Okay.
And in the course of changing administrations, we do have changes also in policies and in pattern of relationship that do exist between us and the political class.
In terms of security?
In terms of security and other roles and responsibilities traditionally vested in us. But however, we haven't relented in this regards, except where prioritization from the political class has been clearly shown to us. Then that's the line we took.
Are you talking about rule?
Yes. When I say role, I mean overall function of the traditional institution. Administrations do come, and to some, certain issues are priorities, to some, they are not priorities.
Okay.
Depending on what that particular administration prioritize, depends on how we also anchor and relate with the administration as well.
So as it is now, the relationship is cordial.
Very cordial.
All
very,
right.
very cordial.
Looking at school abduction, which is now the in-thing, the main issue, what roles can the communities play in curbing the trend, the dastardly acts?
Well, first of all, I think there is need for us to run a census of schools that are vulnerable.
Okay.
Take, for example, the School of Forest Mechanization. It's one institution that has been located far away from the city, far away from members of the community.
About 10
generally.
kilometers.
Yes.
Away, yes.
Maybe perhaps that was due to the fact that the nature of their training has to do with them being in a very remote location. But then, nevertheless, you know, I would have expected that certain things would have been factored in, and the environment studied very well, and sort of like a security arrangements being beefed up, or
like a police post or
anything.
Okay.
It could be either a police post or a vigilante joint task force, civilian GTF vigilante structure being in place.
Okay.
Sometimes you put those kind of structures not because they do prevent, no, but they provide you with the first signal of alarm for you to be able to intervene very rapidly.
Schools that are located in the communities do have, even outside the communities, do have Parents Teachers Association, the SBMCs, and the rest of them. How relevant are they in securing the schools and also in partnership with traditional rulers?
Well, actually, yes, you're quite right, and the schools-based management committees and the Parent Teachers Association, which is the PTA, do have a role.
Okay.
The role they do play in terms of ensuring that there is safety and the pupils or the students in the institutions are very well secured and protected is very, very paramount.
Thank you very much, sir. We are afraid we are running out of time, and we sincerely appreciate your presence in our studios.
Thank you very much.
Sharing with us your
much.
thoughts. Thank you very much, sir. Now we pause for a break. Panorama continues shortly. Center for Disease Control has on 7th May 2021 confirmed 39 new cases of COVID-19 on Nigeria. The breakdown indicates that Lagos has the highest figure of 23 new cases, followed by FCT, Kano, and Zamfara, with 4 new cases each. Akwa Ibom, Gombe, Nasarawa, and Plateau states recorded one case each. Nigeria has a total of 165,340 confirmed cases of coronavirus, with 155,454 patients discharged and 2,065 deaths recorded. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has created additional 989 polling units in Jigawa State in its ongoing exercise of expanding access to polling units across the country. INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye stated this while inspecting newly created polling units in the state to ensure they are in conformity with the Commission's guidelines. Ibrahim Bellagunda reports.
Currently, Nigeria has 119,973 polling units established in 1993 with over 50 million registered voters. The increase in the number of registered voters to over 80 million, congestion and distance among others, necessitated the call by stakeholders for INEC to increase polling units across the country. INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye said his visit to Jigawa was to inspect the creation of additional polling units and ensure that they are in conformity with the guidelines agreed with stakeholders for flawless election come 2023.
We promised the Nigerian people that we are going to convert all the existing voting points and voting point settlements into full-fledged polling units or into standalone polling units. The INEC office in Jigawa State and all the local government offices, they have done some background work in relation to this. So I'm here to confirm that they have followed all the necessary guidelines that was given by the Commission in relation to relocating existing polling units and also making sure that we keep polling units in places that deserve them, and we move polling units to unserved and underserved areas.
Civil society and residents of affected polling units commended the decongestion and additional polling unit creation.
I think this is a welcoming development. We spent, over a decade agitating and advocating for INEC to increase some polling unit due to congestion and overcrowding in bottom point and polling units. So I think this will help, and it will help in smooth running of the election exercise on the election day, and it will reduce crashes and congestion in the polling units.
The INEC guideline states that no polling units should have more than 1,000 and fewer than 750 registered voters. In Dutse, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
The ongoing infrastructural development in Kafanchan, which is meant to ease movement of goods and services in addition to first lift to the community, has been applauded by the Emir of Jama'ah, Alhaji Muhammadu Isa Muhammadu. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that the Emir was speaking in Kaduna when he led some members of the Emirate Council on a visit to Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai.
With the Kaduna State Urban Renewal Project making steady progress across the state, Kafanchan is gradually wearing a new look. Network of roads, including drainages within and outside the ancient town, are being reconstructed. Hence a thank you visit by the traditional rulers and his council members. The governor asked the traditional rulers to continue to preach and maintain peace, particularly among the youth, for development to strive.
I would like to inform you that the State Executive Council has approved a bill to create Kafanchan Municipal Authority, the department of the government, of the state government, that will ensure that the investments we made in modernizing Kafanchan, from the township roads to the markets and other investments that we're going to put in, are properly managed centrally.
In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
There is no longer any hiding place for human traffickers in Nigeria, no matter how highly placed or connected they are. Director General National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, said this when she had audience with management of the Nigerian Television Authority in Abuja. Adebola Buxley Sunday reports.
For the Director General of NAPTIP, Himan Sulaiman Ibrahim, the largest television network in Africa, NTA, is the best place to be if our agency must reach all parts of Nigeria.
Our citizens have become commodities for sale.
Her plea to the NTA Director General, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, is to assist the agency in fulfilling its mandates of coordinating all nations' crime prevention and stamp out human trafficking and uplift the vulnerable from exploitative tendencies.
We don't want to wait for people to become victims. We want to come strongly from the preventive angle. That's what our renewed vision as an agency represents.
We must collaborate with each other.
The NTA DG, who described human trafficking as a pandemic, said the fight against the societal ill is the business of all.
It can lead to slave labor, it can lead to prostitution, it can also lead to death, in the hands of harvesters of human organs. So it's important that Nigerians get to know the risks that they run, in going out of Nigeria at all costs.
Both heads of the two government agencies agreed to set up a four-man committee to fast-track the implementation of their collaboration.
We're going to intensify in an aggressive and disruptive public enlightenment campaign to ensure that our people are fully aware of all the danger signs and they're able to kind of respond, and also key players in this fight against human trafficking.
The NAPTIP head said the agency will always be ahead of those who are bent on human trafficking and other similar human rights violations in the country. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
President Buhari is saddened by the death of Hajia Aisha Jumai Al-Hassan Mahmad Taraba, who was Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development during his first term in office. The Nigerian mission in Cairo, Egypt, announced the passing of former minister and senator. President Buhari said the demise of notable politician Aisha Jumai Al-Hassan has left many saddened, both in office and outside and out of the office. Her concern for the education of the girl child, especially those of government girls' secondary school, Chibok, who were abducted by Boko Haram terrorists, shone through. Her death is a huge loss, not only to the female gender activist community, but to the country as a whole. Our condolence to her family, friends, National Assembly, and government and people of Taraba State. Now, NTA gets broadcast rights from Continental Mini Football Tournament. Details of this and more with Buddy Adele on Sports Update.
The local organizing committee of the Second African Mini Football Confederations Nations Cup has named the Nigerian Television Authority as the official broadcaster for the tournament. Nigeria won the bid to host the competition in 2020, but it was postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic and will now hold from 8th to 17th July 2021 at the largest sports resorts, Ibadan, Oyo State. Meanwhile, the second round of the 2020-2021 season of the Nigeria Professional Football League begins this Saturday with Jigawa Golden Stars and Lobby Stars locking horns at the Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna. On Sunday, Rivers United host Dakada. Warrior Wolves are at home to Kano Pillars with Enyimba and Enugu Rangers going head-to-head. Kwara United currently top the league standings with 36 points ahead of Kano Pillars, who also have the same points, while Akwa United are third with 34 points. Meanwhile, already relegated Sheffield United will be looking to build some momentum ahead of their campaign next season in the Championship when they take on Crystal Palace in the Premier League at Bramall Lane, with the match live on NTA Network from 2:30 Saturday afternoon. In other fixtures, Manchester City welcome Chelsea to the Etihad in what will be a dress rehearsal for the All-English Champions League final, with a win confirming City's status as Premier League champions. Liverpool and Southampton will clash in the last game for Saturday, while Aston Villa entertain Europa League finalists Manchester United on Sunday, just as Arsenal and West Brom will trade tackles. To tennis, all is now set for the women's final of the Madrid Open on Saturday, with world number 1 Ashley Barty and Orina Sabalenka facing off in what will be a rematch of the Stuttgart Open final. Top seed Barty claimed her spot in the final after defeating wildcard Paulo Badosa 6-4, 6-3, while her Belarusian opponent defeated 6-time Grand Slam quarter-finalist Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova 6-2, 6-3 to reach the final. With Sports Update, Badi Adeleye, NTA News.
That is the panorama, but before we go, remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. Let's begin with NTA's Rep promo.
You can get more news and updates on www.nta.ng or follow us on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NTA Network News, and also stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Also remember to watch our news live streaming at www.nta.ng/live.